Okay, let's get started. So this one is a quick video about how I use Obsidian, mostly with Vim Motion. So I made a short video about Vim and Obsidian, where I say, okay, how I use it, what shortcuts, and basically without the mouse. So this is a follow-up that is longer than 3 or 5 minutes. The other one was like limited and very brief. And this one will be a longer session. I also wrote a full-blown article on my website about my Obsidian note-taking workflow, and yeah, we will discuss a little bit about it, why I choose it, maybe what are my workflows for a deeper life, I call it, so to speak. So it's not only for work, it's basically for my life, which improves every step on my life, I would say, especially as a parent and as a person who has many things to deal with. I can just like have a place where I can write it down and be sure I will find it later on. We will go through my last part, so basically I will not go through all of this where I start with OneNote, but basically from here Obsidian on I will show you, and then my second brain, how I start to building one of these, and with Vim Motions, and also a little bit about how I share my notes publicly with you. And also I'm writing a book with Markdown, which I'm not going into in this video. But what I'm going into is why I use Obsidian, maybe some templates I use, why I use them. Maybe I will not go into deep plugins because there's so many of them and they're actually not needed that much. So most importantly is that you have Markdown and Obsidian set up. The rest is just add-ons that you can add on later, and then how I share it. So let's start with Obsidian. So maybe we can create a blank new page. So that's usually how my Obsidian looks like. I have on the right here, I have the backlinks of the open note. Now there's no open notes. Here I have the outline where I usually switch between the outgoing links and ingoing. And sometimes I'm using the graph view. But apart from that, I'm basically using as much space as possible for the notes. Let's say I have an idea or I talk with someone and I want to note it down. So basically I hit Command N. And then I will tell the note of the title. So maybe we can say YouTube video about Obsidian. Then I hit enter, and then this note is created. It goes into my inbox. So you see there's a lot of stuff in here because I don't really care where they are. So this is my settle custom, so to speak. It's very, very long. So you see here my inbox. I use the para method. So I have areas, and there every new node goes in my inbox, which is essentially the same as my settle custom. So I have here a settle custom. I have some projects and archive, and then, but the most important are my areas that are things that always come back. So family or my health, that will be always there. So there I don't need to put it in my settle custom. So I can navigate through the folders, but other than that, I only use my settle custom, and I don't use the folder structure at all. So I'll just, if I search something, let's say Daxter, I'll just search for it and jump right there. Or if I thought writing, music, and then I have I have the note that I actually was searching for. If I cannot find, I'll directly hit F2 and change the node title, and might add something, would add a keyword here, and then Obsidian automatically updates all the links. And next time if I search for keyword, it pops up right there. So that's basically how I use the search. I also don't use like numbers or anything like that. I use the plain names, which is easiest for me to remember, and also much nicer to look at, and also when I share, they have a nice name instead of a random number. I don't mind so much if they're not unique anymore, because Obsidian takes care of that if I rename something anyway. So that's something many people are thinking about. Why, like in the traditional Lumen Zettelkasten, you kind of create atomic nodes that never change, so you can link them. But yeah, even though the name changes, they're still linked to my node. So that's how I handle it. And maybe we can go through again. So here you see the mentions or the link that where I really added it. So I have here Jacob Collier, that's a famous musician, and he actually inspired me to create that node. And then you can also see the graph. Sometimes I change that to like 2-second depth, so I can see a little bit more how they connect. So, or actually less than this, I use also the one plugin. Sometimes it's like called Excalibrain, and then you have a stronger pictures, because all the links that are forth and back, they will be here higher prioritized, and sometimes that gives me a better view. But yeah, I don't want to go into details too much into plugins. That's why I don't. That's more in the creative phase when I need like ideas or brainstorming, then I use that heavily. But other than that, I don't use so much. So let's go back to our notes. As you see, I'm actually typing YouTube because I only remember that I wrote something in YouTube. So you can go back here. First thing I always do is Command T, which is my shortcut for my templates. So I have a lot of templates here. My default one is the permanent node, and then it automatically adds the date, some tags, reference, and origin. Origins I like to always fill in, so I know later on, maybe in 1 year or 2 years, I always know where this node has been spawned from. Maybe a person reminded me of that, or YouTube. So later I will probably add the YouTube video here if I publish that, and or I will just write started creating YouTube. And then yeah, you can already see I don't use the mouse, right? So this is all Vim motions. I use J and K to go down. So it's also when let's say, if I make a link here, I can jump to it. I then go down and up. Sometimes I use the mouse for the navigation here, so you can see the outline. That's one I really use heavily. Because I tend to have long nodes, so I can just jump directly to it. Yeah, but then when I open it, I always open the node in a new tab, and then I can just jump forth and back. With Control L and H, I jump forth and back, and with Command V, W, I kind of close it again if I don't need. Or if I have open a lot, I can just go to that and hit Command Q, and then it closes all except this. So this is the two shortcuts I use usually for like navigating forward and back, or if I'm having too many, to close the clutters a little bit. But yeah, when I write, I really like to have, sometimes I also remove the write, just to have really a good writing page and not being distracted too much. But yeah, that's next I will probably start writing what I wanted to say, or I can say why I started with, let's say, Obsidian. Which templates? And the main thing is hotkeys. So let's say if the numbers are not good, I can just toggle the numbered list. Or if I want to make it a bullet list. You can just hit the shortcut. But yeah, the main hotkeys are for me Vim motions. So if you jump here, you see I have a whole article about the language of it, the grammar, and this is really important. So and then maybe I want to share how I publish it with Quartz. Public, so I have a note on that, public second brain with Quartz. And you see this is also public on my website. And actually the way I publish it on my website is I just add a hashtag publish, and then I run a script, and then that will be published to my website. So if I go now on my website and go on my second brain and hit Command K, I can search for Quartz, and then public second brain of Quartz. So here is the note, and you can see this is basically the same note that I'm having here in thing. So I can change something here. Let's say if I add a test here, and maybe I want to publish this note as well, and I will just add a publish hashtag, and yeah, that's it. Then I go to my terminal where I have my script. So basically I can have a make script here that runs all now it copies all the nodes from my vault, Obsidian vault, and searches for the hashtag publish, copies that over to my Quartz, and now it starts as a website. So when I go now on my local host, this is now locally, so I can check if everything is okay. You can see last changes is today is this. I already changed something before, but these two are the last two. So you see the YouTube video about Obsidian. You see when you hover, that's actually the link to the Obsidian that I just added. And here is the graph. You can also click here. And every node that is public will be shown as this. If I would add a link to a non-public internal link, then it would show like this. If I go, for example, here, you see these are all private links. You still see it's a link, but you cannot click on it. So that's basically the difference. And yeah, really the cool thing is it's the same as Obsidian. So you see here all the backlinks that are public, which gives you great insights. Why is there a haze screener in Neomod linking to that, right? And then you can click on it, and then you can see the link here. And yeah, also the other one I added here. So you can see here's now test. I will remove that again, not that I have this here. And then basically I have another command, deploy, if we want to quickly have a look at this. So I have this deploy that does a prepare and the hook would generate and then an upload. This, by the way, these scripts are all public. On the node that I showed before, you can actually see all the scripts and the make file and everything. So in case you want to do the same, so I actually changed that to a Rust conversion because the Python was quite slow copying all the documents over and then filter or do the parsing and searching the hashtag and everything. So you will find both scripts here. So I think this one is the Rust, and here you see still the Python. So yeah, that's just a little detail. But yeah, if I hit make deploy, it basically removes or creates again the whole page and then rsyncs it to my website. So it deletes all the stuff that is not there anymore and uploads the changes. So if I'm now going not on my local machine anymore, but to the, let's say to my website. You can navigate to my brain here, which is actually my Obsidian vault with all the public nodes. And then if I hit refresh here, then you see now this one has changed, although it's not there anymore, but it noticed that there was a change. And then the YouTube video about this, so you can see also last updated with all the links and the nice graph. So this is really a nice way of publishing your like private notes with the audience without any interruption. So you see I didn't have to change anything at all. So Quartz can handle the Obsidian notes. You can even add, what I like a lot is a call out. So if I want to say, I want to add a summary here, you can add this and say, this is my summary. Go there, publish it again. Wait a couple of seconds. So if I go back, this is my summary. Yeah, this doesn't look so nice anymore. I think it's because I don't have, because this works in Obsidian, but usually Quartz. Yeah, what I do here is when I really know I want to publish, I will just add a note here. You can also say this is my summary title, and then if I do it again, it doesn't bother me too much. But if you really want, usually I use a title anyway. But if you don't, then this is. So now it's also looking properly. Yeah, and I use that for everything. I have my, for example, my newsletter is in this second brain. I document everything here. My data engineering vault, which is basically a subset of my second brain, is here with a lot of links. So you can see also there's a lot of learnings if you want to get started with data engineering, and you can see all the links just to this node is quite extensive. And then yeah, if you go into books of data engineering, then you see you can really, instead of just a glossary or like a normal website where you have like one level kind of, you can really dig in, right? So you can see, oh, this Bill Inman wrote like this both tools and books, and then you go in on Bill Inman, and then you see, oh, he's the father of data warehouse. There's a link again, right? You can just hover to see the short. You see also the backlinks, so you see now the books of data engineering, but there's also another backlink from Inman versus Kimball, so that's the classical debate. You can go there if you want, or you can go back. You see that data mart is connected. You see when it's created initially, when it was last updated. So it's really, you can search the whole thing. So if you want to search for Kimball, also data modeling is showing up, of course, because he's known for data modeling as well. And yeah, you can really go really deep because there's so much information. And the cool thing is it's just all in my Obsidian vault. If I want, I can also create, I can open it with my editor, right? So if I want to open it with Vim, NeoVim, I can also do it here, right? I have something activated here. That's why it was looking a little bit different, but I changed this now. So I can also change it here, right? It will change in Obsidian as well because it's just markdown. You can basically open it also with Z or with any editor you like. And yeah, I think that's mostly. You can read more details here. I think it's the future of blogging, or where we have. Also, what I also like is this is like a continuous notes. So if we go in continuous notes, yeah, it's kind of refactoring, right? Instead of writing a new blog or same blog every year with a different year in the title. We can just reuse the last year and kind of improve on it. So instead of starting from a blank, I really like this. I still write blogs where it's more like a way of writing, like a one-time, like this article. I will not change that anymore. This is like this is now from July 24. But all the links that I think change often, like Obsidian, I just link to my second brain, because that will change. I always add every day or every week or every month. I add new things that I figure out during reading or what I think it's interesting. So the blogs is more like a one-time, or also when I want to condense the whole second brain into like one flow of article, and then I write a blog. But other than that, I mostly write it on my second brain. Or yeah, I also write a book with markdown. So if you go here, this is all basically markdown. Maybe only short I use MD book. It's the same book that Rust book is made of. And it's the same approach for me. So instead I have also the blog that I can just publish with markdown, that is integrated with my second brain. But I also have my let me just change that quickly. Yeah, that's my blog here. So if you see the navigation here, it's basically one source folder with all the markdown files, part 1, 2, and then you have everything is markdown files, and the only thing we need is like a summary, which is basically the index, so where you say how your book looks, but the rest is markdown. And here I can I can just start my make file, and then that will basically run my book locally, and then yeah, I can navigate that here, test my stuff, search for things, and then when if I'm finished, I have the same make file here that when I do make deploy, it builds and uploads it. So I can just hit make deploy, and then it's basically on my website here deployed. So it's you see I don't need to do any formatting at all. It's just a plain markdown, and for me that's as fast as it can go and as straightforward. And on top of it, I can use my Vim motions. I can use Obsidian actually to write it. I have another note here. So I also write that in Obsidian. So usually I write it in here, and then you can. Yeah, this is now the chapter that I'm writing on, I guess. That is one that I already have published. So yeah, I'm writing it here as well. So it's a different vault, but same principles. So because it's only markdown, I just like because I can easily work with the images. I can have callouts and bolts, and it's just also a nice way of reading markdown, because it just yeah, it doesn't show the markdown itself, right? Only if you go on that line, the links are gone. I can also do that in Vim, but it's a bit easier. I just like Obsidian for working with notes, and NeoVim or Vim for coding. So yep, that's I guess that's basically what I wanted to show, and I hope this is useful. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything more I can show, because that is kind of a random. I just take one shot and try to explain a little, but I didn't plan too much, and I think there is a lot of stuff that I can show more, like plugins or some more methodical content, like how I use Signal Custom and how I organize everything. But yeah, I think for now that's good enough. Thank you so much for listening, and hope you enjoyed that. Bye.